With us now is Bob Woodward, associate editor at the Washington Post. He is no stranger to blockbuster congressional hearings. He is one of the reporters who broke the Watergate story that eventually led to President Nixon's resignation. Bob, welcome.
Thank you.
So we have testimony yesterday in which James Comey calls the president a liar. Then the president tweets this morning that James Comey is a liar. This began as a probe into whether Russia was colluding with members of the Trump transition team. Where are we on the big story?
Well, that's the question. And the big story is about what Russia did, and that's what's got to be investigated. And what is missing here at this point is a clear crime. What Russia did in the election last year, it was a classic espionage operation. Our CIA used to do this decades ago. And so you've got to find out who did that. Was somebody in the United States in the Trump campaign or Trump himself somehow involved? And that is a big task. I think we now have about 5 to 10% of the answers to the questions we need. And there's so many, and so many have to do with what happened in Russia.
But that's exactly what the FBI was trying to do and tasked with. And then we have the man who's been in charge of this independent agency saying before the world, it's my judgment I was fired because of the Russia investigation by the President of the United States.
I think that's true. And I think you look at the chronology and the evidence at the same time. What was Trump thinking? What was he doing? And Comey gives a window into this. Trump was obsessed with getting a public declaration that Trump, was not under investigation. And Comey told him that 3 times and then never would say it publicly.
Do you think he should have said it publicly?
Well, I think he should have. I think, his argument is, well, if then Trump became under investigation, we'd have to fix that. We'd have to correct it. But there is a way. And if you look at for 4 months, Trump was essentially begging, tell them I'm not under investigation.
Was Comey's credibility damaged, do you think, Bob, when he admitted that he leaked information to a friend in hopes that it would lead to a special prosecutor, which it did?
I think it actually was enhanced.
Really?
Yeah, because he was honest about it. He's like our old source, Deep Throat, Mark Felt, who was #2 in the FBI. Felt would meet in an underground garage, lurking in the shadows, and Comey has come out with me, yes, and Comey's come out and said, look, I wanted to get this out. I think we needed a special counsel to investigate that. Are
there other comparisons with Watergate? Because here we have, in John Dean, we had somebody who was on the inside.
Yes.
James Comey is not on the inside of the Trump administration.
There is dramatic difference. Comey is not John Dean. Comey is a witness about what Trump allegedly did. Dean was so powerful this 45 years ago as a witness because said, look, I was the president's lawyer in the White House, and what I did was corrupt. We led the obstruction of justice. The president was in charge of this, and I was responding that way.
Was there any positive takeaway for Team Trump yesterday, in your opinion?
Well, just the argument that, hey, look, why didn't they tell the world that Trump was not under investigation? And if you get into the chronology of this, there are 2 points where Comey waits 2 weeks before kind of responding to what clearly was President Trump's #1 demand.
You get the impression, though, that the Trump team is a bit relieved by this because they expected perhaps he had things to say that he had not said before that might be even more damaging.
That's possible, but it's very damaging when Comey said, look, at one meeting, the president said, let the Flynn investigation go. Trump, a lot of people are saying, oh, Trump is new to this, he's not a lawyer. If you check the record, and I have, Trump's been involved in more lawsuits than just about anyone, and he knows you have to get legal advice and not get involved in this business of telling the FBI director, drop an investigation. That's off the rails and way out of bounds.
We sat here together all day yesterday and remarked about how many times the former FBI director mentioned tapes, multiple occasions, was the reason he actually released the memos to his friend that then became in part of the papers. He said, "Lordy, I hope there's tapes." Do you think they're tapes?
You know, I mean, it's always the best evidence. If there had not been tapes in the Nixon case, he would have stayed in office, I'm sure. I mean, say you're Mueller, the special investigator counsel in this. What is it you want? You know what you want? You want a defector from Russian intelligence to come to the United States, and I will tell you how we ran this operation. I mean, everyone in the intelligence community has been very clear and very powerful in saying there is evidence that everyone agrees establishes that Russia did this. Now, was there money involved? Who was involved? They say Putin directed it. Are there people in this country? Right. That's why I say we still have 90 or 95% of
That's right.
work to do.
Let there be no fuzz on that, as Comey said yesterday. Bob Woodward, thank you so much.